Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. Today, the new Halo Infinite Operation Forerunner dropped, and it's exactly what you would expect from an Infinite Operation update. I mean, at this point, honestly, 343, Halo Studios, whatever you want to refer to them as, they need to be put on the registry because I just feel like they keep fucking us. So we're going to break through it here, kind of go down through the important stuff. Real quick, currently Tuesday, there is nothing on the actual main page in that of the game to kind of let you know all those small little things in that. So in terms of like patch notes, things like that, I definitely recommend maybe check out somebody who does those types of videos more in depth than that. I'm just going to do a quick run through of everything that's currently available here. So let's get started. In terms of playlist and that, so Husky Assault is kind of the new highlighted playlist in that. Essentially, it's Husky Raid, but instead of it being Capture the Flag, it's now Assault. Firefight Classic has been moved into the Firefight playlist in that. So it's not gone. If you want to play it, you just have to go into the match composer and pick Firefight Classic and just set it to only that, and you'll be able to get into those games. On the topic of Firefight, though, real quick, just want to throw out a quick little public service announcement here. So for Firefight Classic, the idea is you can go unlimited rounds with it. If we could. Now I get it, sometimes the map sucks, and that's going to be my exception, but we as a community could just go more than one round without exfilling, that would be phenomenal. I get it. Like I said, sometimes it's not the map that you want. Sometimes it's the map that kind of sucks. But when we see some of those ODST maps kick on in that, I like to stick around for a little while on that. But I've been noticing a fair bit of y'all have been running towards the exfil site in that. Now, I get it. Been seeing a lot of lower career rank people in there, so you may just not know, but you are able to stick around and play it. Please definitely do so in that. I know sometimes I personally get frustrated with it, and I may talk shit like in the party, but I'm not actually going to go after people, things like that. However, I have seen a couple reactions in that from people I've been playing with who have just absolutely lost their minds on other people in the lobby. So just throwing it out there. Like I said, we can make exceptions for some of the shitty maps, but for some of the good ones, let's just stick around a little bit. On top of that, 1v1 Showdown has made a return. And in terms of ranked playlists, of course, you have your ranked arena, ranked slayer, ranked doubles, but new is the ranked 1v1 Showdown. So in terms of multiplayer games or playlists and that have been added, that's what you're looking at. Personally, Husky Assault, probably not going to touch it, at least just yet. I'm going to wait to see what the kind of skill-based matchmaking is like on there. I know historically a lot of these newer playlists, whenever they get released in that, skill-based matchmaking is cranked up. And, you know, sometimes when I just fire up the old Xbox and that and I want to relax, that's what I want to do is relax. I don't want to come home and then feel like I'm fighting for my life in like a saw trap and that, just to have a little bit of fun. You know, not every match has to be the Halo Championship Finals and that, all right? If I miss a shot, I'm not losing out on $1 million, all right? Just your average Joe. I'm not at that level, so let's tone it down a little bit. Let's bring the social part back to the social playlist. Now, in terms of the operations here, as per normal, all the good shit, guess what? It's locked up behind a paywall on that. So I will be honest, I do think that this is a pretty cool assault rifle here. Unfortunately, you have to buy the premium pass, so I think it's $5, but for $5 you really just get this and a very plain kind of weapon coating. It's nothing that excites me, but on the good news though, I do actually enjoy the armor set that is in here. So on top of the Spartan points, you will be able to unlock the Prefect armor. So this armor was originally released, I believe, as almost like a DLC add-on to Halo 4 in that. I will say, Gonna give some props to Halo Studios 343, what the fuck ever you want to call them. I'm gonna give them some props because this one is much truer to the original art style than that bullshit we got with the whole Blue Team update and you having to actually go into the store and buy other bundles and that just to actually get Chief's armor to look like the Halo 5 armor. We're also not going to talk about what happened to my dear Linda in that. Sorry, but look at how they massacred my girl last month. But yeah, just a very traditional update. Like I said, overall, the main armor parts don't look too bad. Of course, they do have the infinite art style going for them versus the Halo 4 one, which is completely fine. I don't think it looks bad whatsoever. But now let's get into the shop in that, or the ninth circle of hell here, and let's just take a look at what they have. So, of course, sticking with the Forerunner themed, we do receive two different armor options. You have the Didact and the Vindicator. The prices, they just need to calm down with these prices and that, all right? Shit's already expensive enough in that. We don't need to be spending a third of the game for one armor. And I'm always going to hold it to that. I know that the multiplayer is free to play, but once again, the campaign, which a lot of people bought in that shit costs $60. Also, they didn't go free to play in that with the multiplayer until like maybe a couple weeks before the game launched. So you don't get to rake in all your pre-orders and then just pull stuff like this. On top of that, I believe it's the Chimera armor core here. You do have some of those other cosmetics for that in the shop and that. They are on discount, so anywhere between 20 to 50% in that. But I definitely would say, again, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money in that, but we're only going to keep seeing these price increases if they know that they're still going to move. So, again, not going to tell you what to do with it. You work hard for it. But just remember, this is a company that's already jacked shit up because they saw that it worked. They'll do it again. But in terms of the exchange here, so there's actually already a couple things I've picked up. So, of course, the Ghost of Reach helmet is still here for 75,000 Spartan points. I tell myself I'm going to save up for it, but ultimately I don't care enough at this point anymore. It is just really, really cool, but we're so close to the hero rank, I can almost taste it. And once we unlock that Mark 6 Gen 3 armor core, we're never taking it off. So, not gonna grind out for that. But we do have a buckler here for the Mark 7 armor core. We do have some weapon cosmetics here, along with some vehicle cosmetics. Something I do appreciate, though, is we did get 2 weapon models here. Both of these are 7,500 Spartan points in that. But it is nice to see them added. On top of that, remember what they stole from us. Old Craig, his cover band, that pose is available again. Plus, we did get the Plumfire weapon coatings and that, which is kind of cool in that. It definitely nicer to see them do some different color schemes in that in the shop. We also have some weapon charms, which they're interesting. Finally, though, I shouldn't say finally, but we also did thankfully finally get some visors that are just not clear knockoffs or like one shade of difference compared to other visors that we already have like 20 of. So it is actually cool to see these 2 visors here. Probably pick them up just because they're different looking. Will I ever wear them? Probably not, but we got the Spartan points. We're going to put them to work. Plus, you do have some gloves here, again, for the Mark 7 armor core, and then just some various other little emblems and stuff like that. Once again, my biggest gripe with all this is, can we just please have everything that's available through the exchange show up on this page? I get it. It takes extra work, but let's be honest, the Forge community is kind of carrying this game at this point. I feel like most of the development team that is left over, I know they're doing something for some other stuff, and I'm not going to talk shit on them because a lot of them, this isn't their fault. I'm sure they'd rather be doing cool stuff. But let's be honest, a lot of what they're doing is just other cosmetics that you can see in the shop here. Come on. Just take some of that extra free time you got laying around put it all, make stuff so that we can find it in the exchange. I don't care if I have to zoom from one side to the other to find something. I would just rather have it on one dedicated page than scrolling through each little armor piece to see if it's compatible with the Spartan points. Yeah, so that's kind of the update here. Again, it's a Halo Infinite Operation update. I mean, what did you kind of expect? I hate to say that and sound negative, but it is what it is. You know, at this point, I'm just glad that they did a decent job with the armor that's in there. I do like it. One thing that I do want to throw out, though, that I would like to see in the Battle Pass, for starters, I think that these, honestly, like, anything that's considered a bonus, look, if you complete the Battle Pass in the time that it's out, just give us this. Give it this stuff here as the final bonus and all that. I get it. If somebody comes back to it, cool, they can unlock it from there just by paying the little money, but stop putting all the cool stuff in that behind paywalls for every single little battle pass that they have. I hate that. The other thing too is, and I just kind of throw this out, so I know this month here we did only get 2 different armor designs in the shop. Something I would like to throw out, and I feel like this would be a little bit of a compromise that we could come to instead of them maybe dropping prices or stuff like that. But what I would like to see them maybe do is add in at least another armor set to the pass. Maybe design 3 that like you intend to cost money in that. Show us the free one. Show us, you know, the 3 that you plan on putting in there or in the shop. And then let the community all come together and maybe vote on one that's going to actually, instead of being a paid cosmetic, make it into the pass, make it free. I think that would actually be kind of cool. Also, don't be afraid to jazz up not only like the battle pass, but also the exchange with like some of the kill effects, things like that. They're cool. I'd love to see a lot of other people have them. So if that's something that we could do, please do that. I mean, I think it's just one of those small little things, you know, to extend the olive branch in that. I think 343, again, Halo Studios, however you want to refer to them as. I feel like they kind of owe us a little bit. That'd be an easy way to kind of bring, or at least ease some of the tension in the room in that, you know. Give stuff that people can earn just by playing the game in that. I don't need a specific challenge to unlock something. Just have me play the game. Let me feel like I'm being rewarded for playing it and all that. But that's it. Those are my thoughts. Feel free to let me know what you all think down in the comments. You can also do the whole liking and subscribing stuff. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. But anyways, we will catch you next time.